Call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Counselor Lehman?
Here.
Counselor Matthew?
Here.
Counselor Larson?
Here.
Counselor Keithley?
Here.
Mayor Swanson?
Here. Proposed budget for 2016. We'll go over street
Okay.
department to start.
Street Department, it's pretty much the same as last year. The one major increase is for street maintenance materials, for crack repair. Our streets haven't had it done for a while, and the guys thought it would be good to start doing some of it anyway, not all of the streets, but just start working on it so they don't get broken up more.
Sure.
So that's the only real increase besides the standard insurances and stuff that automatic, have slight increases every year.
Sure.
The debt service principal you see at the bottom, 2016 is the last year, and that's for our loader we purchased a few years ago. That'll be the last payment.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I got a question on their phone. Is that phone include all their cell phones and stuff too?
Yes,
Do we have a phone in the shop?
we have a phone in the garage, yes.
Seems like we should be able to get a cheaper phone service, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. We'll have to do some
Yep,
research on
I
that
have that
one.
on to do, so.
Good. Looks good. Any other questions? And we'll move on to snow and ice control.
Snow and ice, pretty much just the, wages and medical, or, the taxes and stuff, and gas and oil, and the salt. There's really nothing new there.
Now, this budget
That went
actually
down, yeah.
decreased a few dollars.
It did, just because of salaries.
Yeah.
I just kind of went back a couple years and took a look at exactly how much
Well, gas and oil, you
time.
dropped quite a bit too.
That did too, because gas prices have
Dropped. Yeah.
So between those two,
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
is for like the 2015 amount, is that how much we have left, or is that what we've spent?
That's
what we've spent.
That's what's been
Yeah,
spent,
with 2 more months to go, you can kind of get an indication where we're at. Yeah. Is everyone good with this? Move on to public work buildings. This has stayed almost the same.
It has. It's our property insurance and all the utilities, and $1,000 for any repairs and maintenance that may be needed. That one doesn't
Very
change
good.
much. Cemetery pretty much stayed the same as well. You just a
Slight
percentage
decrease.
of the wages. You take a look at how much time they spent on the cemetery and
Did the
their
guys say
wages.
anything at all? Did our guys say anything about doing anything with that road going into the cemetery?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
No.
That back one?
Mhm.
Yeah,
All-
that's
Going
pretty
to
rough.
All
the
the roads in there
Are pretty tough.
going
Needs to
to
be upgraded.
Potter's Field.
Yeah. That
Or-
one's the worst.
Yeah.
That one going out to Potter's Field is the worst.
Yeah, well, that's kind of in an area where it's all kind of loony a little bit too. And boy, once it gets wet a little bit,
Yeah. Okay. Unallocated expenditures.
This is retiree health insurances, our general liability insurances. This did increase because we have a new retiree,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
that's why the increase. But that money does get pulled from the
Account we
retiree
set-
savings.
Yeah. That we set aside just
Yep.
for this.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
How many retirees do we have?
We have.
1, 2,
5,
3,
6.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Coming out of this unallocated.
Right.
The retirement pension unallocated 4,000, that's
That's a year.
required
Yeah.
in the
That's where we're
union, that
putting
we
the
have to
money
put it
aside.
aside
Yep.
for retiree insurance.
Right. And the TIF bonds.
Our debt Yep, it's slightly decreased just because the principal is lower, so the interest is lower.
We're getting closer.
We are, the earliest we can pay
Yeah.
these off is 2018.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
all right.
Street capital.
Wanless,
And that is the
Bond.
same as well, slight decrease
decrease.
because of the interest, and that one can also be paid off, the earliest is 2018.
okay.
You remember at one time we had talked about that, a couple of these if we could, and if we had the cash, we'd pay them off to get from the, paying all that interest and stuff.
Right. Of course, there isn't much of interest on anything anymore.
No, it's getting down.
All right, street department?
This is just to put money set aside for future
Equipment.
equipment needs.
All right.
Yep.
Very good. Any questions? All right. We'll move on to report from department heads. Public Works, Fire and Ambulance. Josh?
A couple things, I've received an application for the fire and ambulance, so we got somebody interested in doing both. And I actually already went in and got done background check, came back good on him, so I guess with a contingent on the physical, I'd like to get approval to hire Preston Dahl for both fire and ambulance.
Could I have that motion?
I'll make a motion, we allow the fire department to hire Preston Dahl for ambulance and fire.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried?
With doing these transfers, we talked about the stay back and what to pay him and that. We kind of ran into an incident though where I think we need to adjust that a little bit. Duluth transfer, city transfer, the $50 instead of doing an hourly rate, it's good with us. It'll make it a lot easier for Diana and myself to keep track of. However, we get into the situations where we're returning people, whether it's to BUHL or to the local range cities. And, our members are getting $40 to go out, but we still need people to stay in town to cover calls. And technically that's set up at $50, so if it's a local transport, anything where where the mileage doesn't equate to at least a $40 run for the member, we just charge a regular ambulance call. For the stay back people, we'd like to just drop that down to $20 instead of the $50. Not that it happens a lot, but the couple times it does, you're sending people out to make less than the people staying home to cover calls, so.
Sure. Do you need that in the form of a motion?
We did the other in the form of a
Right.
motion, so I'd like to have this in form of a motion as well.
Okay. So what you're asking for is that the ones that
So
go out
actually,
will
we'll
get
have
the...
two rates, so if we go on a long distance transfer, any Duluth or further, it'll be the $50 stay back. And if it's a local transfer, then the stay back people only each get $20. So I'll be able to keep track of that for Diana when it comes to quarterly payroll, so.
Okay, could we have that?
I'll make that motion to pay the stay back ambulance crew $20 on the short haul,
And 50 on the long.
50 on the longer ones.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried?
With getting a 12-lead monitor grant that we're gonna be receiving, hopefully here in the near future. There is a STEMI workshop that Ted and myself are gonna go to in Duluth. It's put on through Missions Lifeline. It's free of charge, however, I guess we are looking to see if we could get mileage reimbursement. We'll be going down Wednesday, it's a full-day seminar. And then, like I said, the seminar is free, we're registered, so I kind of thought we'd throw it out there and see if we could get reimbursed for mileage.
I don't see a problem with that. What do you guys think? We have a motion?
Well, yeah,
What's the rate?
everybody else goes, we reimburse mileage.
57.5 cents.
Yeah,
I
it's,
mean, everybody else goes, we
Right.
do that, we
Right.
reimburse,
right,
so.
for mileage and usually per diem too, if you have to have a meal while you're on the way. We have a rate for that too.
Mhm.
And there's lunch provided there and that kind of stuff. so.
Okay, so it is just mileage?
Yep. we just-
Okay.
Where do you have to go, Josh?
It's down at the deck.
Oh, down the deck.
So they're having a
Okay.
big thing, and it's geared, first part's geared for EMS, and then the second part is hospital. So it'll be a good,
Good
should be pretty
information.
educational for us, especially receiving a 12-lead monitor now, so.
I'll make a motion that they be able to turn in mileage for going down for educational for the fire department.
Support.
Any further discussion?
Are you both driving down?
No,
Do you want to be driving?
Yeah, it's just me. I'm guessing I'll probably end up driving, so it'll be just one turn in the mileage.
You do?
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried?
And like I said, just, big thank you to Sentence to Serve and Joe. All the hydrants are done. There's maybe one or two that they're gonna go touch up. But they look fantastic and color coded so we can know what we got. So, that was
How
easy.
are they color coded, Josh? I was
We
wondering
did
about.
just the steamer cap nuts.
Yes.
A lot of cities have gone to that because then you get away from the Christmas tree looking fire hydrant.
Right. So what do the colors mean?
Well, it's just, it goes on the flow rating, so,
Okay.
some of the newer lines, we're a little over 1,000 gallons a minute, so they, actually went to an orange color.
Okay,
A lot of ours are between that 5 to 1,000, so they're sitting with a green nut. And then the ones under 500 are just completely red.
okay.
Have we got some bad ones in town yet, Josh?
I think there's two, Ted just ran through when he did, hydrant and flow testing and that, I think there's still two that we're kinda having some issues with the drainage. And I know he was working with Trent to make sure they get pumped up before it gets cold and,
Okay.
but other than that, a lot of them have been getting swapped out and changed out, so it's really been kinda nice for us, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Thank you, Josh.
you.
No engineering. Todd, city attorney, do you have anything tonight?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Long-range planning and zoning,
Not till January.
okay. Recreation board, library board, we've got their minutes in our packet. They had a Halloween party on Saturday that was very well attended, very nice party. Beta, the minutes are in here or no? No, they'll be in the next one then. Yeah, we'll provide the minutes in the next one. We've got to make a couple of amendments and changes here as a result. And sheriff,
Well, I think everybody got the monthly report for October. It was pretty accurate. We had a little activity on Halloween night down at the cemetery and stuff, so it's getting a little skewed there, but running about 55 calls for the month, and about 34 of those are handled by the assigned officer. Speaking of the assigned officer, he's Deputy Kick going to transfer over to the Virginia Sheriff's Office, so in about mid-November here, we'll be getting a new deputy coming into town. He's gonna have a transition period with Deputy Kick for, I think, a 4-day set, and he's gonna try to get him out and introduce the new guys and kind of put a face to the name, and so he'll be the new guy in town for a while anyway, so.
sounds good.
But other than that, it's kind of status quo.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
how long has this new guy been with them?
With the county he was working, he was a jail employee before this. So he's working in our jail for a while, and now he's transitioned out to the road. So he's still finishing up his training process right now through field training and all that stuff. So he's a little bit, I guess, older than your typical 20, 25-year-old, new person. So he's got some life experience, so
okay,
it was nice to see.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Council's addition to the agenda, we'll have to revisit the pay scales we set for our hirees. We'll amend some motions at the end of our meeting, so I'd like to put that on. We have to amend it. Any other additions? Citizens Forum. Anyone who wishes to speak to us?
Yes, I'm signed up on the list here.
Okay.
I'm here on the question of the relocation of the recycle dumpsters. After going down and looking, I sent a letter, one letter was dated 10/19 of this year, of my concerns as far as a citizen and a past public works employee. I'd like to address you tonight on the concerns that I have as to the children of the area that are in that block. My grandkids are there, and they've got 2 other kids in that short, small area. Being down there with vehicles moving in and out of there, it's very difficult at most for the people to move around there. You can't see these kids at all. The dumpster is right there, right next to my daughter's yard. She's got a little one there. The dumpster, the guy backs into the dumpster, and he's standing on his lot. He can't see him. And my concern is that this is gonna happen more and more often. These kids are they're inquisitive anyway. They're gonna go over to the dumpsters and start looking through them. One gentleman I talked to says he turned around and the little one was standing right there. Didn't hear him, didn't see him or anything of that nature. So it's a big concern for me. You know, along with all the other things, the excessive noise, that type of reasoning. And again, the increased traffic because it is a dead-end alley. They've got to go in there, they've got to back in, they've got to swing around. And these kids are coming out with their bicycles up the alley to go up on top of the dump. All it's going to take is one time. Someone's going to get squished. You know, another thing there is there's no safety behind those dumpsters. And that guy goes in, picks them up, pulls them out, and goes to back them in. There's no way of keeping people from behind. So if there's a fence there or, you know, whatever. But I'd really like to see these dumpsters moved out of that area just for the simple fact that these kids are always down there. Not just the grandkids. My grandkids are 3. There's 2 others. 2 of them are handicapped. And they're friends. And they're all over the place. So
Well, we were talking about that today.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, just to put your mind at ease a little bit, we are gonna be looking into trying to relocate them maybe out of Whiteside.
Okay.
Find an
We've got
area.
cameras out there
Because we
already,
got cameras and stuff out there.
so
and
maybe the vandalism
We're
would
gonna
be
look at
an
an area
issue.
there.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the council's looking into this matter for me.
You bet.
Like I said, my concerns are, something's gonna happen to somebody sooner rather than later. And I won't,
You got legitimate concerns.
You do,
There's
you
no doubt
do.
about it. So-
There's nobody who likes those containers near their home,
No.
and I can't blame them. When I went back and saw how it looked after it had been done, I thought, oh boy, I wouldn't want it in my backyard either. But it's finding the right spot for it.
Well, that's it.
And no matter where we put it, somebody's not gonna like it. I know if we move it that far out, there are people in town who are gonna complain that they have to go so far to do it. So, there's no pleasing everybody, but we're definitely gonna look at moving them to a different location.
well, I thank you and appreciate your hearing my concerns.
You bet.
So,
Certainly.
Mark, would you be opposed to them up on the dump by like the sand piles and stuff?
I wouldn't
Is
be
that-
opposed to them as long as they're, you know, even up by the sand piles. The thing about it is you don't have
Yeah,
the actual access to these little kids to be right there. If they're up there, I mean, you're gonna have some kids there with their
Yeah, but
bicycles and everything else.
There are kids out at Whiteside on their bicycles at times too, so I mean.
I wonder even at,
No,
and we've talked about some of these different locations, our old sewer plant out there where they,
we talked past the brush pile, back in that area, if we could, you know, make an area back there for them. You know, do something.
unfortunately, the gate was taken off out there, and I don't know why that happened, but it'd be good to at least be able to lock it up at night. But
Yeah.
there'd probably be less vandalism than there would be in other locations, just because it's kind of.
There'd be a lot
out of the way.
less illegal dumping.
That,
I mean, bottom line,
Absolutely.
you know.
yeah,
And again, I appreciate you listening to my concerns.
you bet,
Certainly, thank
you
you.
bet. All right.
Anybody else that has anything to say?
I did, but my dad covered it.
Oh, okay.
He's a good spokesman.
Yeah.
All right. Consent agenda?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from our special meeting on October 19th, our regular meeting on October 20th, and our special meeting on October 21st.
Do I have support?
Support.
No further discussion. The meeting of September, or October 21st, that special meeting, we need to amend the minutes, because the minutes, there's one piece that wasn't put in here that should have been. If you look at that, when we set the rate of pay, we had included the BETA monthly stipend into an hourly rate, and that isn't reflected in here as to our reasoning for these rates for both our finance manager and our city clerk positions. So that needs to be added to this, that these rates include that monthly stipend from BETA. Okay,
Okay.
so with that amendment, do I have a motion, or, I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we have claims.
I'll make a motion, we accept the claims for gross payroll, pay period number 22 for $10,294.10, and payroll for pay period number 10, $1,960, and total AP of $9,738.47.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And now it's something really serious.
Yes.
We have our Christmas lighting contest coming up. The Recreation Board is requesting that we have $250 from the electric set aside for this lighting contest. And they also would like one of the counselors to be a judge for the contest.
You did that before.
Yes, I do it most of the time.
Yeah.
It's fun to drive around
I
and
did it
look at
last year,
places,
yeah.
yeah. So, I guess first of all, we'll need a motion to move $250 from the light department, from electric department.
That's a move.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And who would like to be a judge? Who feels like a
You've done
judge?
such a good job.
Yeah. You got the experience.
Well, and I don't decorate like some counselors do. Are you still decorating your?
No,
That's just wrong.
absolutely not. We gave it all away.
Oh,
There's somebody else with a giant snowman.
Okay.
well, I'll be willing to do it if nobody else wants to do it.
You know.
All right. Tell them I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Twisted our arm.
Okay. All right, grant writing agreement. Josh, you're kind of on this one too, hey?
Yeah. I don't know. Stick again. It's just kind of something we looked at. We got our official rejection letter from FEMA for the AFG grant. A lot of departments have gone to hiring out the grant writing service. You know, I work on heavy equipment. I'm not a grant writer. We spent a few nights going over it. We had some outside help, but they give you an idea where you failed, but they don't tell you exactly. So whether or not it was one of the initial steps or just one of the mini narratives that got to correlate in with the final narrative that really show why you need the funding and why the city needs the funding. You know, one of those areas is where we fell short and our application got rejected, and here we are now, so.
Okay,
The need for what we are putting in for is not changing. I mean, we need SCBA's and turnout gear, you know, SCBA's first.
right. My question to you, Josh, is about the fee for this. Now, with the preparation service fee, you say that you can get back a reimbursement amount of up to $1,500. If they fail to get the grant?
No. if
You don't get anything.
If you get
If you
approved,
get it-
then through the AFG grant, you can also apply for a $1,500 grant writing service.
Oh, I see.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, if you get bumped out again, and that's, you know, we looked at, we talked about it, it's, you know, it's a risky move.
But you're talking a big chunk of money.
We're talking, yeah, I mean, it'd be right around $100,000, so,
And we don't have the experience to write. this type
Right,
of a grant.
just getting a grant writer isn't,
And
no, and that's,
isn't the
yeah,
easiest
so,
thing to,
They have a pretty good percentage of, that we
In
be
the,
able to get.
yeah, in the PP category, which is what we're going for, that, you know, they're sitting at about a 64-65% success rate right now. You know, that's still.
More or less 50/50.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
but they
you
say a
know.
little better than that.
So, you know, that doesn't sit the best. However, you know, with over 10,000 applications going into this, you know, if it gets you into the right hands, it could be worth it, you know, instead of getting kicked out right away, you know, because I mean, they start in, we gotta have them in December, and they start, I wanna say it was the spring of the year, and they just finally finished them up, so I mean, it takes a long time to go through all, and they prioritize, and, you know, so we're all summer long, we've been hoping and hanging in there, but they did close the grant, and we did get our rejection letters.
Josh, how long does this take before you'd find out anything?
The grant itself,
To find out if you were gonna be considered at all, or
like I said, we just found out and we put in for this last December.
that's okay?
Yeah, so it stretches out, it depends on how much money they get to give away, but yeah, it's months and months. You know, but like I said, we're talking, I mean, it's not something we'd wanna do every year, you know, especially if we're going after, you know, smaller items. However, though, with PPE being one of the most important things that they are funding right now, you know, that does put us in a better category.
Have you talked with your department about this?
We talked with a few of the officers and stuff, and, you know, we're kinda all the same, because we're all the ones that sat last year and racked our brains over this grant, and, you know, there's so many elements to the grant, and, you know, it's,
Josh, how old is our turnout year?
our youngest turnout year is 11 years old right now, and half of that is probably anywhere from 13 to 14 years old. And like I say, that is actually, our SCBA's are a bigger concern, and unfortunately, everything costs so much right now, but between those two, it's easily, I think when we looked at it last year, it was sitting at about $92,000. So,
And one thing now, with going and helping these other departments, they're looking for people to go inside, and if we don't have the equipment to go inside, and we're putting people's lives on the line.
Right, right.
you know, and I guess we wanted to throw it out there, and unfortunately, the timeline on this one is a little tighter, because once the AFG grant period opens, which should be within 2 weeks, they increase their rates. I know last year we looked at a local person that does just the narratives, and they're right around $1,000, $800 to $1,000 to type up a narrative.
Okay,
That's great, but if you miss one of the other key elements, it
Yeah.
won't even get to the narrative stage, so. With talking to her, they'll do the same thing, they'll do a narrative and a quick review for 1,100, or they'll do the whole thing, make sure all the Ts are crossed and Is are dotted for the 2,100.
If you're gonna do it right, yeah.
yeah,
Well, like I say, you know, we don't wanna be taking chance with tax money, but on the other hand, you know, the return is quite, you know, we feel worth it.
it's big, yeah.
And like you say, it's not an every year thing.
No,
No.
so exactly. You know,
I don't have a problem with that.
No.
If you get a chance to get that,
Yeah.
replace that equipment, that'd be all right. I'll make the motion that they go ahead and use the $2,100 to get the grant written for their turnout equipment.
Yes.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you, Josh. Oh, City Hall roof. I asked Diane to put this on here again. Thank you, Stuart, for loaning them that telescopic.
Oh, I wasn't.
It was? I thought you were gonna do that. I saw that they had one, so I thought it was you.
Josh,
Josh
Had
had
one,
that?
so.
Well, thank you, Josh. We appreciate that. He did get up there and got a took a look around, but I don't know if they've come to any real conclusions yet as to where the leaking is coming from. With the last rain that we had, did they say there really wasn't any?
There was no water on the floor.
Right.
From the last rain, the last few days and over the weekend. When you look up into it, you can see that, you know, it's wet, but it's not dripping onto the floor.
Right.
Does he still have them vents plugged off?
They're not completely covered anymore, no. They took them off when they were
Right, yeah.
crawling around up there.
Sure.
I mean, like this last deal that we got from Mr. Stone, he makes a recommendation here that this roofing and building contractor, this Mr. Anderson, might be able to take a look and check things out. We gotta do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless as to whether we decide to move on to a new building or we decide to stay with this building, either way, we want to make sure that we do what
Yeah,
needs to be done
You're
here.
right, the roof has to get fixed. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no,
And it's not that old of a roof, so the damage has to be somewhere else where the leaking is coming in. It's a quandary. So,
I mean, what does everybody think? Should we have that contractor come here and take a look? I'm sure it's gonna cost a little bit for him to look.
It's probably worth it, considering.
Something.
we
you know.
do.
What do you think, Stuart?
I would definitely say we should have it inspected at least.
Yeah.
If he can give us some kind of insight.
Yeah.
I wish Trent would have been here to see what he found out.
Yeah, he wasn't able to be here tonight. So,
But I mean, if,
Trent was here with him though. He went
Yeah.
up with him when they
Right.
looked at it on
Yeah.
Friday. So I think Trent's aware of all of this too and
He
probably
is.
thinks, you know, yeah. It probably would be a good idea to get, if we can get them to come in.
I'll make a motion that we hire, we want to hire this Kraus.
Rose Anderson,
Well, he recommends, he said Kraus Anderson or building restoration. I mean, I can call them both and
okay, see
get,
what they say, you know.
get
Get some
quotes
more
from
information.
them.
Yeah, get some more information. And if they will, if anybody will come and give a free estimate on
Right.
what it is, that would be great.
Yep,
So, okay. Well, we'll put
And sooner
that,
than later.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, the sooner the better.
We had a motion, I don't think we
We,
had.
Do we have,
take away my
you're gonna
motion.
rescind
Oh,
for now?
I'll rescind my motion.
Okay, all right. All right, well, now I need a motion for us to go into closed session, I believe, for the union contract.
I'll make a motion that we end our regular session and go into a closed meeting session.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay,
Support.
Wait a minute, I have a motion to open our meeting.
And support.
Support, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We will, okay, our last piece of business is to amend the motions. When we set our wages for our city clerk and our finance manager, we had rolled in the stipend that they were getting from BETA. But at the BETA meeting, they did not want to see that happen. They want to continue with just their monthly stipend. So, we will need to amend these motions. And I guess we could amend them to say wages with the BETA stipend if it is agreeable with BETA. And then since it's not, it would go back to what we had originally? Or do we need to just make a clean new motion of it? What do you think, Diana? Because we had,
Okay, can we eliminate this part A on this business deal that was on here and just make a new motion to insert in this?
do we want to rescind these motions and make new motions, or do we want to just amend these motions? That's the thing.
I think we could amend them.
We could. We-
Can't-
You just, you want to amend them so it clarifies where the wages are coming from.
Right.
Yes,
How we calculated that.
Can we-
right.
Can we just amend them to
I
the
think
way
you
it
can
was?
do that, and then you're gonna do another motion to, a new motion for the raises, or not the raises, but the wages? Because BETA, you said BETA was not,
Was
didn't
not
wanna
in.
do that, so
Right.
then we have to have
we have to put the wage back to where?
to where it was.
Right, so I
and
think
then-
that should be a new motion then.
You think it should be? All right, then
I
what
mean, I
we'll
would-
do,
I do
Yeah.
too.
what we would want to do is rescind these motions
Yes, I
then.
think that's
Well,
what we wanna do.
just the item A of it.
And B,
B too?
Yeah, A and B.
Gives them more.
And the first motion was made by you, Jean, so it would be for you to rescind
Okay.
it.
Under our business heading from the last meeting, I'll make a motion to rescind item A.
Paul,
So I rescind
you
my
support the...
support?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
And now,
Now,
item B,
item B.
yeah, I'll make a motion to rescind my motion.
I'll
Yeah.
support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now, back to the starting rate of pay for
How do we
our
word
new
this?
city clerk. We'll have a pay increase of $2 per hour, plus her stipend from BETA. That's it.
Is that right? No?
That is.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Okay, I'll make a motion for our city clerk to have the $2 raise plus a stipend from BETA.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And for the finance manager, I'm not sure what the rate would be because you did the calculations with that figure.
1683.
Okay, 1683 is the dollar amount that we will be paying our new finance manager. So this motion is going to be to hire Kathy?
Yes.
We already did the hiring, this was just the motion for the wages.
Wages.
Right.
So all we gotta do is make a motion for wages.
To offer her this dollar amount.
Exactly, yeah. So.
Wait a minute.
But it was all one motion.
It was all one motion to hire and offer the rate of pay. So the part of hiring her should stay in the motion
Oh,
too.
yes, okay.
So hiring Kathy Jankala at a rate of pay of $16.83 an hour plus the BETA stipend.
Also move that.
Wait,
Oh,
and then in the event that she declines,
then it go to two.
Yeah, Terry.
that needs to be part of the
Terry
motion
Offered the
too.
position.
That'd be my
Okay.
motion.
Yeah. Support?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right,
Yes,
yes.
Also part of the motion was after the probationary period.
oh yeah.
Goes up.
Where did we have that?
It went to 1870.
Oh, that it would increase $1.
I know, when I
Because that's what happened for you.
was 1683 and then I went to 1827.
Okay. So what we had discussed was a $1 increase, correct?
No.
No?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
for part of B,
After
yes.
the- After the probation.
After
After
that,
probationary,
yes, yeah.
okay.
Oh, are you gonna make a new motion on that then? Or roll it in the
We'll,
last one?
we'll make another motion on it,
Okay.
that we'll offer her, well, that will give her
I'll make a motion that we pay the new finance lady $1 more after 6 months. After she gets off probation.
6 months, yeah.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, Diana, did we miss anything?
I think we, I think we got it.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, guys.